wow! Yeah.
Welcome to this video. Today we are going to be talking about award shows, and I'm sure you guys are aware that the Grammys just happened, so congratulations to many of the deserving winners like Victoria Monet, SZA, Miley Cyrus, and Coco Jones. A lot of these well-deserved winners, I would say, even though I don't agree with the politics and the system of the Scammies. Anyways, we're going to be talking about why no one really talks about award shows or cares about them anymore, and why most celebrities even refuse to attend nowadays. So if you haven't seen my Grammys video from a while ago, check that out because it really details exactly why most celebrities boycott the Scammies and how biased the entire process really is. So recently Jay-Z made headlines with his acceptance speech when he was awarded the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. He defends his wife Beyonce and throws a little shade at other artists and mainly criticizes the Recording Academy for their biased and unfair voting process. He did make a lot of solid points when he said that a lot of people don't belong in the category and how a ton of these artists get snubbed every year. However, he is speaking to the collective about the whole process and not just pertaining to his wife. Beyonce made history by being the first and only artist with the most Grammys ever, 32 awards. She still hasn't won Album of the Year despite being nominated multiple times. In my opinion, she is Beyonce, an actual legend, and she doesn't really need awards to prove herself. But it seems like less people are tuning into all these award shows and more so tuning in after to see if there was any mess or drama. From scripted corny jokes.
Zendaya just turned 26 last week. Happy birthday. 26 is a weird age in Hollywood. I mean, you're young enough to play a high school student, but you're too old to date Leonardo DiCaprio.
The big difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL, on the Golden Globes, we have fewer camera shots of Taylor Swift. I swear. There's just more to go to here.
Stage drama.
Oh, wow!
And shows just inviting anybody nowadays. It seems like a majority of people have lost interest in these major award events. Does anyone actually sit down and watch these shows on TV anymore? If you do, that's great, but the majority of us find our news on social media, and we watch clips on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, even Twitter. As a kid, I remember even the excitement of tuning into TCAs and KCAs because those were a pretty big deal to us. But now it's less about recognizing talent and more about ratings and what can bring more attention. It's more entertaining to see what has happened after the shows. So let's say, for example, Chris Rock versus Will Smith. That is obviously one of the most talked about moments in the past decade, and I didn't even know that the Oscars were happening until I saw those viral clips of Will slapping Chris. Social media was going insane after that moment, and it was the most talked about moment of the entire night. Nobody cares who won what. Controversy brings ratings, views, and clicks. It gets people to tune in, and without the drama, these shows become boring and forgetful. These award shows have had a history of snubbing deserving nominees for years. A ton of people were mad at the Oscars for supposedly snubbing Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig for Barbie. And people are mad at Grammys for snubbing SZA and Lana Del Rey and so many other artists. And some people argue that the Recording Academy voting systems are biased towards Taylor Swift, and there are a ton of reasons why so many celebrities don't respect these institutions anymore, and I understand where they're coming from. Back in the day, only stars were invited, and I mean like A-listers, people who actually had talent, whether they sang, danced, or acted. It helps celebrities' brand image and status to be part of these huge things. And there's also a hierarchy where most elite celebrities were allowed on these red carpets, and the awards were treated like exclusive events. And it was a pretty big deal for them to be invited or nominated at any of these awards because it was a way to recognize their talents and contributions in the entertainment industry. So many celebrities have spoken out about the biased voting systems for these shows. Some even make an effort to boycott the event and publicly criticize them. The Weeknd is an example of an artist who boycotted the Grammys after they snubbed him, and he calls them out for the corrupt nomination process. Nicki Minaj is another example of a huge artist who hasn't won any Grammys and is considered blackballed from the event now. So I explain all of these in my old Grammy video, so I'll link that below if you're interested in watching. After so many years of being continuously snubbed, so many of these celebrities just stopped attending altogether. That contributed to the huge decline of award shows because most people don't care to tune in if their favorite celebrity won't be there. And that's when we introduced the era of social media. With the integration of social media, these award shows have seemingly become more unserious. A ton of these executives are making decisions to have social media stars and influencers attend and host these events. People theorize it's mainly to appeal to this new generation. Think about how no one really watches live TV anymore. Most of us are dependent on streaming services and platforms, and we see all the latest news on social media. They're inviting more influencers to these events that some of them are either on the red carpets or even interviewing the stars. I read this article on Boston University News Service, and they quoted a music professor by the name of George Howard, and he explains the downfall of award shows perfectly. As he was giving his opinions about the Will Smith Oscars incident, he states this: "As social media has risen, award shows generally have declined because award shows represent a very top-down structure. We, institution, will tell you, customer, what it is that you should like," said Howard, describing the recent changes in attitude among modern audiences. Now that's been inverted, where it's we, customer, will tell you, institution, what we like. So it seems like the system has switched where these institutions are listening to what we as consumers want and attempting to do anything to appeal to us. They're afraid of losing ratings and consumer interest because truly not a lot of people care about these awards anymore. Especially with this younger generation, most of us don't care to watch TV or tune into these award shows unless they intrigue us. And I'm speaking for myself, I have a short attention span unless I'm genuinely hooked or intrigued by something I'm watching. So I'm also guilty of not caring about award shows unless someone I like wins or something dramatic happens. Jay-Z said it best. I think he made some really solid points, and I know Beyonce hasn't won Album of the Year yet, but Jay-Z speaks for the collective when he says that the Recording Academy is extremely biased towards certain artists. It wasn't just to defend Beyonce, plus she didn't have any nominations this year, so it probably wasn't a big deal to her. But listen, SZA deserved that Album of the Year award because she had all of TikTok and the internet in a chokehold with almost every single song on the album, and they were on the charts for months. She did walk away with 3 Grammy awards that night, so congratulations to her and so many of the other deserving winners that night. But that's all I have for today's video. Let me know what you guys think below. Did you guys tune into the Grammys or the Oscars recently, or do you guys just tune in online? Comment down your thoughts below, and thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.